Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be actually going back and talking about the Gold Coast Suns. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos. We've had the bye, we've had other things going on the channel. So I thought today would be as good a time as any to talk about the Suns, how they're going, and what we've got to look forward to until the end of the season. So the Suns are sitting at 3 wins, 11 losses. Now that pretty much rules us out of finals, no arguments there. But there's still a lot to be gathered or gained from the rest of the season, hopefully building up towards a strong 2017 with no injuries. The past couple of weeks since the bye, we have been playing pretty good football. We haven't won any games, but we're starting to look better and better as the season rolls on. We had a close loss to Richmond, who we were in front by 15 points halfway through the last quarter, and then Richmond decided to put the foot down and kicked away from us, which is a bit disappointing, but we got into that position where we could actually get a win, which is something more than what we've been having through the middle part of the season. We're starting to get players back on the field, and it's really starting to translate into performances on it. Last week we played Hawthorn down in Tasmania. Now Hawthorn have won something ridiculous like 17 or 18 games in a row down in Tasmania. It's their fortress and they play it so damn well. We were leading at halftime. We got a really good start in the first quarter, held on in the second quarter. Our third quarter we seemed like we fell apart, and in the fourth quarter we stuck with them as long as we could, but they kicked away at the end and they ended up winning by 28 points. In all honesty, we probably should have ended up finishing a bit closer, but what are you going to do? They're the premiers, and at the moment they're looking as good as ever. So while we don't have those two wins, we are looking a lot better, and as we come into the end of the season, we only have one more game with the team that's in the final 8, meaning the other games should be relatively competitive affairs. We've got to try and build up a winning culture, a winning spirit in the club before we get to draft. So one, kids we want to draft are excited about coming to the Suns. 2, any experienced players that come to the Suns are really excited about coming to the Suns and being a part of the club. And 3, with the winning feeling around the club, it would be nice to keep all the players that we've got playing for us at the club as long as possible. As far as end of the year drafting and sort of contracts and all that goes, Prestia and OMeara are still the two big standouts that are causing a bit of a headache for the Suns officials. So you have Prestia, who the feeling is online, and seems the feeling at the club is he's already out the door, which is fair enough. He's entitled to that. He's entitled to go and look for success after he's given us a really good portion of his career. All I'm hoping for basically is he plays well for the last end of the season, builds his price up, and then we can get something big in return for him, which would be nice. The second person coming out of contract is Jaeger OMeara. Now, I'm a bit more positive about Jaeger. Now, he came to the club with some problems with medicals. He had issues with the way the medical was being running, the fitness was being run, and the club has gone and addressed those issues. So I think that has done enough for us to hopefully get Jaeger for at least another couple of seasons, hopefully turn it around while he's there, and then after those 2 seasons we're a successful club, hopefully in the 8, and that will encourage him to stay longer. Now, does that mean he is going to stay? Nobody knows. There's rumours of his manager shopping him around the Melbourne clubs, but basically that might just be a ploy to get his price up and to get his wages up, so the Suns pay a bit more extra to keep Jaeger there, and Jaeger ends up with a bit more in his pocket. We'll wait and see. This weekend we're playing St Kilda. St Kilda had a really good win against Geelong last week. They looked really switched on, applying the pressure and doing all the right things. We had, as I said before, we had a decent hit out against Hawthorn, and it's up at Metricon, so I think the Suns are a fair chance here. Now, they're not going to go in as favourites, but they're going to be pretty close to an even bet with St Kilda. St Kilda have got a couple of issues with their backline as far as defensively goes. They'll have a really short defence heading into this round, and that's where I think we can expose them with Lynch, with Wright, and Day up forward. If it's a fine day and there's no rain about, we should be taking a lot of marks and hopefully translating that to a lot of scoreboard pressure. Gary's finally starting to hit hit his best form again as he did against Hawthorn. He had 40 touches and 1 goal, which was great. And our defence dealt with a lot of Hawthorn entries last week. Hawthorn started in the third quarter, they was getting it in constantly, and our defence was solid enough to stick together to repel a lot of it and not to let Hawthorn get too far away. So with all that being said and all those positives happening, I'm thinking that the Suns are a really good chance of getting the 4th win for the season and starting to turn the season around and trying to finish the season on a positive note. Let me know in the comments below if you agree and you think the Suns are finally going to start turning around. The injuries are starting to subside. We've got a bit of an easier run of games coming up. Do you think the Suns will be able to turn it around? Leave me a comment below and tell me what you think about how the Suns are going to go in the second half of the season. Like this video if you're enjoying this dissection of the Suns, and if you would like me to talk about the AFL in general or any other teams in general, I'm happy to do that too. Subscribe to follow all my videos, including my Supercoach video, my Pokemon videos, all that good stuff. Do hit the subscribe button to follow that. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for letting me talk about the Suns. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.